Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of An Honest Review. If you're new to the channel, very simply put, I do review of the gear that I use and the gear that I like. I point out the things that I don't like. I try to make some honest recommendations. I'm just a regular guy. I like to go outdoors. I participate in endurance events. I participate in endurance races. I love the mountains. I love everything outdoors. And I often find that when you go on YouTube and you want to see the review of a video, it's an unboxing, or it's just a sponsorship or some type of collaboration with whoever the reviewer is, and that doesn't give me enough information to know if I want to buy something that is more likely very expensive, because we know that outdoors gear is very expensive. So that's what this channel is all about. I mostly do packs and shoes because that's what I think that can make or break your outing. And today I'm very excited to give an honest review of the Mammut Ducan Spine 28 to 35 liters. So let's get right on it. I actually bought this pack based on another review on YouTube, and I'm gonna put the link in the comments. Very thorough, very cool. I think that one of the problems with this packs is one of the problems with this pack is that the website doesn't give you enough content. All the specifications are there and everything is there. All the concepts are there, but I really was missing to see a little bit more of like how all the system works together. These guys that I'm posting the video in from the UK, they did a fantastic job, and they just gave me enough information for me to say, you know what, it's worth trying it. So now I've used it a couple of times. So now I have my own comments on not all the bells and whistles, but more so how does this perform on the field. So let's start with the basic stuff. So Ducan Spine by Mammut, right? So the spine system by Mammut, it's basically looking for a more natural movement where you're hiking. When you're hiking and you're carrying gear, I particularly like to have a good frame, right? I know there's some frameless backpacks that tend to be on the lighter side. That's that's a whole different conversation. But if you're carrying let's say, conventional backpack, it has some type of frame, and there's two very specific points, right? The hips, which is gonna help you unload some of the weight, and of course your shoulders, who's gonna carry extra weight, is gonna help you stabilize, etc., 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 right? So that being said, the spine technology, or the active spine technology as they know it from Mammut, is this part right here. So basically we have the hip component, right, which is of course part of the hip straps and all that fun stuff. Regular hip component as a back pad, and then we have the top component, which is where we go have our shoulder straps. But right in the middle, well, it's not in the middle really, but what we can see is that it has some movement, right? Which basically means that my hips can move independently from my shoulders, which is what naturally happens when we're hiking, especially when we're going uphill or we're crossing rivers and so on. But the frame still unloads all the weight, right? So that's what I was looking for, which is really, it's really cool. And this quest started from the fact that when I started hiking, I was wearing high capacity, or let's say big packs, 50 and up, and 50 liters and up, and then I found out that I really don't need that much space, right? But you still carry the weight, right? So, you know, some people, when they start hiking and they start getting to these type of things, they start to get some calluses in their hip bones and stuff like that. Is because of that situation, because it's always rubbing and you have a full frame that moves together. But if you were to have this one on your hips and it moves separately from the pack, that reduces the friction, right? So that is the concept. How I'm gonna start there. Works great, right? I was not really very convinced after a couple of hikes. We are today in beautiful Vermont, Pittsfield, investigating the very rare apparition of a steel bar that is just here on top of the mountain. Yeah, just one day on top of the mountain, a steel bar like the monoliths that have been appearing around the world just appeared. So I came here to investigate. So that's where we are. Sorry, sidetracking a little bit. Pittsfield, Vermont. Visit if you can. So I was coming here. The weather in Vermont is always very unpredictable, so I was not sure if I would have enough dry wood and so forth and so forth. So I came here also not knowing how long I was going to be here. As you can see, it's snowing, so I didn't know if I was going to be snowed in for a while. Of course, you also want to have a good time. So that being said, I had like a liter of beer, 2 liters of water in my bladder, additional 3 liters of water because for cooking and so forth and so forth. Stove, sleeping systems, of course, layers, spikes, tools, and everything you need for an overnight in winter. On top of that, because I was not really sure about the wood, I just brought a pack of wood, which was probably around 25 30 pounds. So overall, doing the math, I was hauling roughly between 40 and 50 pounds of gear up the mountain, right? Now, why do I bring this up? Because I didn't feel the pack. Like when I was going back to, I wonder if this pack made a difference. I didn't feel it. That means that it made a difference, right? I didn't have any of like that normal feeling on your hips or your lower back, in which because you're carrying so much weight there. I didn't have anything out of the ordinary of carrying 50 pounds. Like I didn't have like extra pressure on my shoulders or everything. Like it really worked. The couple of times that I used it before, I was not carrying that much of weights, so it was different. It was difficult for me to see what the difference was, but right now I did see it, right? So it definitely works. So let's talk a little bit more about the features of course, per usual, what I like, what I think that can be improved, etc., right? So I'm going to start here because we already have the pack facing this way. The frame, fantastic, great frame. It definitely takes the load without any issues. Actually, I stacked the wood on top of it, and because it has a frame, it was just like having it on a shelf. It was great. Worked very, very good. Which brings another point. I was able to use some cords to make sure that it didn't move. It has a lot of, it's very sturdy in its build, in how it's built. So it has, of course, our handle here. It has another loop here. It has some other loops here. Every single thing is very durable, and I like that a lot. I feel that sometimes hiking packs, which are supposed to last forever, can be a little bit flimsy. But yeah, I definitely do not feel this with Mammut, right? Going on the shoulder straps, they have a little bit of a hybrid concept, I would call it, because it's like a vest, right? You can see the tendency to be more like a running vest because it also has pockets here. The chest strap is really just a bungee cord, like running vests. On the other side also we have pockets as well, but it adjusts like a regular shoulder strap. You have your straps on top to bring the weight closer to you, and you also have regular straps for the shoulder length. So nothing to say there. I mean, classic system, it's fine, it works perfect. I really like having the possibility to have some stuff here. For example, here I had my extra beanie, and here I had my spotlight, so I could look at trailblazers and some food. So it's great to have some stuff in there. On the hip belt, again, we have also some other loops that you can use for whatever you think may be useful for. We have just one pocket on one side. It's zippered, it's mesh, so it will expand a little bit, so you can stuff a lot of stuff in it. Stuff a lot of stuff. And it's only one. That is totally fine because you have like little pockets here, right? And so it really doesn't matter. They're also mesh, they're also stretchy, so on. On the other side, I have this bungee cord system that is marked for your trekking poles. I didn't use trekking poles for this hike, but your trekking poles would go here, and it's a bungee cord system. What I did use this for in this hike was for my gloves and my neck gaiter. As I started to go up, I have a quick place to stuff stuff in. So actually, I like that. I like that because sometimes pockets are limiting. So I like the fact that you just have bungee cord and you can use it for whatever you want. So I really like that a lot. Now, as I mentioned, it says it's 28 to 35. My favorite thing about this pack is that it's really a 10 liter to a 38-ish, 40. It's just really how well it is made in terms to accommodate for different volume. There's nothing worse than a pack that doesn't have good compression systems. And if it's a 30 liter and you only have stuff for a day, everything is flopping around, and like there's nothing worse than that. So I think this is where Mammut really did a great job with it. So let's start first with the classic compression straps, right? We have classic compression straps right here on both sides, right? Here, you already saw how I took my Nalgene bottle here. So while I'm here, I'll show you very deep mesh pockets, right? Regular Nalgene bottle, 1 liter, 32 ounces, still plenty of room. You can carry a 2 liter, you can carry even layers and stuff. So this, super convenient. It has a little tab so you can pull, even if you're using gloves, it's nice. But yeah, so this is my first compression part, right? It's gonna be this. Second compression aspect is gonna be related directly to the closure system of the pack. As you can already see, and if you're looking at this review, you probably looked at the thing online already, so you know that it's a folding system, right? Like a dry bag. Cool. So we have either this option in which we just cinch it down, and again, it's another compression system, because if you cinch it down, you're getting rid of all of the volume, and that's really where the difference in the volume for this pack comes. If you have it all the way up, you can see the additional volume, right? Another option is to just use it like a dry bag, just like that, right? And you forget about these straps. If you're having a lot of volume, you can also do that. Third option is if you have everything really stuffed to the brim, the top part comes with a zipper. So you can have it full to the brim without any problems whatsoever. And you can use your straps here just to kind of make sure that it doesn't, flop around. Cool. So we have the compression straps, we have the folding system, the closing system that you can also manage according to your volume. And then this part is great. Mine is a dog toy. This part is the part that is really cool. So I actually talk about this I'm going to leave a link for another video. I reviewed the Salomon 35 liter XA, and it has a similar compression system, and that was probably one of my favorite parts of that pack. I love this type of compression because it just compresses all around. It just has a pull system right here. This is just a hook. So, for example, right now, I only have my sleeping bag. I was just packing, getting ready to leave the cabin. So I can just move it a little bit closer to where most of the tension is. And just make sure that it's compressing what I want it to compress, right? What happens if you really want to compress this because you're not have a lot of stuff? That's my favorite part. So I'm gonna use all my compression straps. I mean, as you can imagine, with the gear that I mentioned, I can, with this filled to the brim. Right now I have only my sleeping bag in. So I'm gonna pull on all the straps, and then I'm gonna pull on these ones even more, right? And the bungee cord system also has a hook. This hook goes up here, the top, so I can even pull closer. And now, nothing inside is moving because it's really cinched. And this is my favorite part about this pack, really how the volume capability. So basically you get a day pack and an overnight pack. And honestly, if you have light enough gear, you can do a couple of nights with this. This is, I packed for an overnight of winter, which basically can be a 2-night in summer or fall, right? So that was my favorite part. And we go to the opposite side of the spectrum, in which, well, I have a lot of stuff, right? Then you can simply just undo this. Just undo that, and you let all the volume of the pack expand as much as it should, right? You take this one off. You already know that it's zippered. It even has another handle in here, so you can pick it up when it's fully packed. And then you let everything, you know, all the volume be expanded. Why did I say it's not 35, but it's more like 40-ish? Because all these straps that you have, that can also come over, that can also, you can be creative with it. You can also come in here to the bottom, or you can use your hook even when the pack is full. Just make sure that you have the longest setting, right? You can have here another stuff sack with maybe, you know, your sleeping bag or a puffy layer, something that is not very, very heavy, but takes a lot of room. So you have all this space that you can still use. Lastly, it has a zipper pocket here for basic stuff or essentials or things that you want to be handy. This is the, I'm going to comment at the end on this, but you know, you have it there, right? Right now I have a multi-tool, 2 headlamps, and an action figure. That's what I carry. Anyway, and in bottom, you have this bungee cord system here, which again, it's great because, like, for example, your thermarest or something of the sorts, you can carry it here. It has a lot of capabilities because if you're carrying something that is a little bit, let's say, thicker, you just do this and look at all the space that you have. If, for example, in my case, I carry just a little rug that I like to have to sit down. It's not very big. Then I just cinch it, and I just use this much space. Or if I want it very secure, I use all of this. And here I have my rain cover. So very complete, right? All right. There's just. Oh, and I absolutely forgot. Yeah, you've seen this zipper. This zipper is just an access to the main compartment, which I really like. This worked really fine because when I was going up on my hike, I put in here the extra things that I would need to be readily accessible just in case. Like, for example, my bigger gloves or first aid kit, right? I just packed everything, and then just at the end, I use the zipper to put the things that I needed readily available right there, right? So this is very cool. Also, my sleeping pad does not fit through this opening, but it fits through the zipper. So it also helps with how you load your pack. Anyway, sorry, I forgot to mention that. It's also important. So there's only a couple of things that I will mention that are, I don't know. It's not a yes or no. It's just could be improved or just considered, right? One is this pocket. This pocket is great, of course, because everything else inside, there's no organization. But if you have it really compressed because you have it cinched down because you're moving fast, accessing this material is going to be compromised because it's going to be as cinched. So if I have to dig deep to, let's say, get batteries for my headlamp, because this is where I carry them, I would need to unclip to release some of the tension. If you have it packed to the brim, then this pocket is going to be sitting somewhere in the middle. So depending on what you're packing on top of it, it's also going to have a lot of tension or become difficult to access. So yes, we all love organization, but sometimes they make more sense than others. Second thing is there's just this one padding, right? I mean, it's great because you have a lot of ventilation and so forth, but there's just this. So if you have to be careful how you pack your bag. If it's top heavy, it's going to sink just into your lower back because there's not a lot of surface to contact, right? It's not like it has a full back panel to make contact. with you. It's going to be just containing here and here. So some people may be sensitive to that. Some people may have some discomfort, I guess. I don't think it's a big deal, but something to be aware of. Also, it's one size. That's a huge thing, right? The size of the frame is 48.5 centimeters. It translates to, I think, roughly 19 inches. And that's it. Either it fits or it doesn't. Of course, it helps that it has such long straps here, so you can be here or you can be here. But still, it doesn't change the frame length, right? So that is a big go or no go. If you're a long torso, probably not gonna be great because you're gonna be cinching it in your upper waist. If you are on the shorter side, probably can get away with it because it's gonna be sitting lower to the hips, and maybe you can do that. But maybe you're gonna run out of slack here to bring the weight forward. Also, this hip belt it's not really adjustable. I know that some packs have like the padding that you can move around, so that's also another thing. In my case, it fits well. I wish that my things were closer, but I think that that's something for a pack of this capacity. It's not uncommon for not having that much padding, I guess, and not having the pockets too close to the front. But yeah, I think that would be the one thing to consider would be that it's one size. So either it fits or it doesn't. So that's a rundown. It was a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but I didn't find a lot of information on this one, and it's pricey, right? It's really pricey. I got this just a bit of a sale, but I paid for shipping, and I guess it was roughly around $120 to $130. I think that if you go on the website directly from Mammut, it's more like $150, and then depends on shipping where you buy it from. So considering that an Osprey day pack goes for $120, considering that a Mystery Ranch day pack goes for $160, it's in the price range. But the packs that I mentioned before, they come in sizes, they have different adjustability and stuff like that. It's a very cautious investment because you have to make sure that your torso is somewhere around that area in which this will make sense to you. They have a women's version. Same situation. It's kind of like go on the website and check what's the torso length for the women's, and it's the same situation, right? Whether either it fits or it doesn't. If you're the shortest side and you're a guy, maybe you get a women's one, right? That's really odd. If you're on the taller side as a woman, maybe you get the men's one, right? There's really not a lot of differences between the two models that I can see. Obviously, I don't have a women's one, but anyway. That's the honest review from Mammut, one of my favorite Swiss companies. Loops for the tools. Forgot to mention that, of course. Loops for the tools. So yeah, I think that overall, it has all the basic things that you want from a pack. It's very clever design. I like the adjustability. I'm hoping that this replaces 2 or 3 of my regular rotation packs. Because I have the 24 and then I have like the 30 for winter, and if it's a long hike I may go with 40. So it seems that this may serve that purpose. I'll keep you posted in the comments. But yeah, so comment, like, share, let me know what you think of the review, if you want something else, if you don't agree, if you already have it, and you can correct me on some of the things, because maybe it's like, oh, you didn't get at all how this works. That's valid, right? So comment, and thank you for those that are subscribing. 174 people means a lot. And cool, I'll see you in another honest review.